Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Param Eftekhari. I'm the founder and executive director of the Institute for Critical Infrastructure Technology. On behalf of ICIT and our co-chairs DLT, I want to welcome all of you to the fall ICIT briefing. I want to especially thank you for being with us here today because it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and there are probably a dozen other cybersecurity events going on today and every other day this month. And so it means a lot to us that you chose to be here with us today to share in the experience we're about to partake on. I want to thank all of our esteemed speakers because we know that they also received probably about several dozen invitations this month to share their expertise. So we're really grateful for everybody's involvement today. For those of you who may be new with ICIT, this is a bit about who we are. ICIT is a nonprofit, nonpartisan cybersecurity think tank. Our mission is to cultivate a cybersecurity renaissance that's intended to improve the resiliency of our nation's 16 critical infrastructure sectors, defend our democratic institutions, and empower generations of cybersecurity leaders. Now, we do this based off of a foundation of objective research that we create in partnership with stakeholders. Those stakeholders come from the government, from the private sector, as well as the private sector, which means they are folks from critical infrastructure sector organizations, as well as technology partners. So we have a fellows program, and those fellows consist of executive experts from organizations like Hewlett-Packard, Moffitt Cancer Center, MasterCard, Lam Research, as well as technology leaders like DLT, like Forescout, like Micro Focus Government Solutions, Trend Micro, et cetera. This research we make freely available on our website, icitech.org. We don't gate any of our content, so you can access it with one click. We share it with our partners and our community members in Congress, federal agencies, with the media and the private sector. And then we get the privilege of educating and engaging with the community. So we participate in roundtables. We do briefings like this. We do virtual engagements. We partner with existing events and help bring our experts and our thought leaders to improve the educational value of events that already exist. And essentially what we try to be is a trusted source and almost a safe space for technology and cybersecurity leaders, because as you all know, there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of folks trying to sell and market to you. And what we want you to know is that when you see the ICIT logo on a paper or at an event or on a webinar or whatever that asset or engagement is, you know that it's trusted education, valuable networking, valuable opportunities for you to engage and collaborate and learn. So we're happy to have you here. I would be remiss not to tell you that there are membership opportunities with us. We are a nonprofit. We depend on membership. We have individual memberships as well as organizational memberships. Please go to our website and learn about it. There's only two reports, I should say, that are for our members only. We track cybersecurity legislation, about 200 or 250 or so currently every single month. We either report on movement or new pieces of legislation. And then we also have a second report that tracks new federal agency efforts. And every month we probably announce 30 or 40 or so new things happening in the federal landscape. So if you're interested, go to the website. Speaking of partners, I want to obviously talk a bit about DLT. Now I'm going to take a moment here and note the difference. They're not a sponsor for us. Our fellow program members are not sponsors. We call them fellow program members, and in this case, a co-chair. And there's a very important distinction. It does take, of course, a skill set to put on an event like this and get 100 people in a room. But once you do that, it's frankly not too hard then to go and get a sponsor to pay because they want to get exposure to this and then get people on stage to talk about what they do. You'll notice in today's program, there is no 30 minutes for DLT to come and talk about what they do and sell to you. That's because ICIT's partners are actually here because they care about our mission of educating you. And that's very important for me to articulate that because we're very proud and frankly privileged to find the DLTs of the world, and you go to our website, look at who our members are, who actually contribute both financially and from a thought leadership perspective into the work that we do. We've worked with DLT for 3 years. They've published research reports with us. A couple weeks ago, Don McLean is one of our fellows and the chief cybersecurity strategist at DLT, was with us as we had a roundtable meeting with the Cybersecurity Solarium Commission and their task force leads and helping them with about 15 of our other fellows who flew in from around the country, providing them some of our insights as they prepare their reports for Congress. Don's briefed the Senate with us over the years. So our fellows, like DLT, are the ones that we turn to both for financial contributions to keep our lights on and to bring us that expertise to create our reports and create this type of education. So we actually, in your folders, we have a report that we just published called Modernization Requires Leadership. An event, sorry, that got loud. Modernization Requires Leadership. It's actually around some of the themes that we're talking about here today. So I'm really excited to introduce them to you. Their Senior VP of Sales, Chris Wilkinson, a dear friend of mine, to come up on stage and share a few words about why they've chosen to work with ICIT. So please help me in welcoming Chris to the stage.
Thank you, Parm. I really appreciate that warm introduction. Again, our partnership with ICIT has been incredibly instrumental in our ability to foster public-private information sharing to better our government's mission. And so it's certainly a pleasure for DLT to co-chair this event today with the Institute for Critical Infrastructure Technology. We've enjoyed being an ICIT fellow program member and an expert contributor for a few years now, as you just mentioned. And for those of you who are not familiar with DLT, we were founded in 1991 to help private sector technology companies really do business with public sector entities. We've got about 50 contract vehicles that we maintain in-house. We've got just over 100 contract vehicles we provide you access to through our network of channel partners. And it's really focused on providing our government customers simplified access to commercial technologies that you need to support your mission. And we provide specialized technical resources for our partners to provide government solutions that are better aligned to your requirements. And so partnerships with entities like ICIT really help DLT to host these events to foster that public-private exchanges of ideas and information sharing around leadership and around technology to improve the effectiveness of our government's missions. We've got a great program lined up for you today. I know Parm's going to go into that in just a moment here, but I just wanted to take a second to encourage everybody to take advantage of the opportunity that you have here today to learn from the esteemed panels that we're going to be bringing up, to network with each other, and to share ideas and information to help each other through this intersection of leadership, transformation, and security, ultimately to better serve the needs of our citizens and then to improve our national security. And so again, I want to thank you all for attending this morning, and certainly thank you for allowing us to put this on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Chris.